What's up, everyone, and welcome to the happiest hour on earth. Today we have a very special episode. We have Shannon Taber, Tattoos by Shannon on Instagram, from Lucky Bird Tattoo in Maryland. Definitely go check him out on Instagram. And if you live in that area, get a tattoo by him because they are amazing. So we're just so honored to have him on, talk about how he started tattooing, how he got into Disney tattoos, and just like some of his favorite Disney things. So without further ado, let's go ahead and call him up. Hey Shannon, how's it going?
Hey, good. How are you?
Good. Thanks so much for coming on our show. We're so stoked to talk to you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
For some of our listeners who might not know who you are, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, for sure. Shannon Taber. I'm from Annapolis, Maryland. I do tattoos. I specialize in American traditional, but I put like a little pop culture spin to it.
So cool. So how did you get started with tattooing? Like, how long have you been in the game?
Been tattooing 16 years. I got started. I did lots of random jobs throughout the time. I started was working in construction with my dad and wasn't really into it, but I could go on tour and like still have a job. When I came back, I used to be in a band, and
Nice.
then the band like stopped, and I just like was not in love with doing construction. But I've always done art my life and my whole life, and I ran into a friend of mine whose parents owned a tattoo shop, and we were just talking about life and this and that, and like I brought up how I'd like still be interested in like doing art with my life. That's not music, but like I still drew and stuff. And she's like, well, let me talk to my mom. And she like called me the next day and I was like, do you want to meet my mom? Maybe do an apprenticeship? And I was like, yeah,
Wow.
absolutely.
That's so cool. So her mom was the tattoo artist for that shop.
Yeah. And she tattooed as well. So, but she like her mom just kind of owned it and did business stuff now, and like she kind of took the mantle as tattoo artist. So
oh man, so how long have you been like, were you drawing ever since you were a kid? We actually have a son who's almost 2 and he's just started getting into coloring, but was that something that you were like into as a kid, like just drawing like nonstop?
Yeah, absolutely. Much? So yeah, I did kind of doodled and this and that, and then I think I really fell into love with art when so my dad collected comics growing up, and he had an office that was just like shelves of comics, and I would like kind of walk past it and like I'd see covers, and he had like ones displayed that he loved the most, and I walked by and he had this one just displayed, and it always caught my eye, and it was the Return of Venom. There's like the symbiotes coming over his head, and it was like a special edition one, all embossed. And I was just like, one day I was finally like, can I look at that, please? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. So I took it and I just like thumbed through it, and I was like, this is awesome. This art style is awesome. Like big, fat, black lines and just bright colors that catch your eye. And I was like, I love this. So I just, I went, can I look at more? And he's like, yeah, just put it back where you found it. And I went through like Spider-Man, which led me into Captain America, which went into X-Men. Like I just went through like all of it, and then I was like, I'm gonna start drawing like this. And I would just like open a page and just start drawing what I saw. And
that's so sick.
And then
that's awesome.
So I always had a backpack full of markers and paper with me wherever I went. Like a backpack, markers, paper were always with me.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. We were just gonna ask too, like, how did you go about finding your style? Did the comic books like kind of influence that style, and how did you go about like cultivating that kind of look?
Eventually, yeah. So when I got into tattooing, I kind of was under the impression that like, all right, this is what the person I'm learning does. I should do that. And then they kind of like, well, make sure you kind of learn how to do everything. So I like, kind of like wasn't good at what they specialized in. And then like learned I shouldn't be doing everything. So I kind of like was not even middle of the road. Like I was just kind of like not a good tattoo artist at first. And then I met my wife, and then we had started dating, and she was like, I want to thinking about going to school down in Florida. I was like, all right, cool. I'll go with you. So we moved down to Florida, and I found a shop down there. And, I just kind of took whatever shop, like we were moving pretty quickly. So I just went to whatever shop would take me at the time. And, it was an okay shop. It was on International Drive. So it was busy, had lots of people coming in. And then I had one of the guys working there sat me down. He's like, hey, can I be honest with you? I'm like, sure. I don't like where this is headed, but absolutely. And it's like, you're not very good. And I was like, cool. What needs to be fixed? And he's like, well, first thing, like, what do you like to draw? Like, I was like, comics, like that stuff. He's like, okay, cool. He's like, what kind of tattooing does your eye draw to? And I was like, American traditional, because it reminds me of like, comic books, bold lines, bold colors.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, well, draw that. Nice. I was like, okay. He's like, I can tell that like what you're doing you don't particularly love. And I'm like, I don't. He's like, I can tell. He's like, show me some of the drawings and stuff you did. And he's like, I can tell you're having fun with that. Do that. He's like, what are you into? I'm like, comics, Disney, cartoons. He's like, find a way to make that what you want to do. And then from then on out, I just drew stuff. Like I would just, if I was watching a TV show I was really into, I would draw tattoo flash of that thing that I was watching. Like I think I did like a Breaking Bad sheet, and then I started doing sheets for bands I really liked. It's like music's a big part of what I am, and I just started like doing that, and then progressively, like naturally being like 30 minutes from Disney, like fell in love with like the park life and all that. So just started drawing like Disney and traditional and just mashing it together until it was something I liked.
That's awesome. That's so cool. So your love of Disney went back beyond when you started tattooing. Have you always grown up loving Disney? Yeah,
absolutely. Had all the big cushion VHS and I went to the park my first time when I was 12. It was the 25th year anniversary of Disney World. And my uncle took me, and he's like, we'll go down for a weekend, because he like worked for airline. And he's like, pick 2 parks. And like naturally I got to go see Nickelodeon Studios. So we went there. And then I was like, I'm a huge Star Wars nerd. So I was like, I need to ride the Star Wars ride. And he's like, all right, cool. So he's like, MGM and Universal Studios, that's what we're doing. And I kick myself now, and I wish I had said Magic Kingdom, because I could have saw the Cake Castle in person.
Oh man, yeah, so classic.
Just missed it.
I actually saw a flash sheet of the what's it called, the balloon castle. Have you actually tattooed that on someone before? Or the Cake Castle?
I did do a flash sheet with the Cake Castle, and I knew no one would get it, but I had to. That's
because
myself,
you need it on you. You need to get it out there. That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so cool. And then so now, I mean, we've seen your posts and all that stuff, and you have a son. I mean, how old is he now? Is he okay? Oh man, that's awesome. And how has your love for Disney kind of grown since then? Our son is almost 2. We took him last year, and we actually just came back from a trip a couple weeks ago. And yeah, it's crazy at first.
With a toddler, it's a wild
toddler
time.
Disney life is crazy. But how has your love for Disney just like grown, like seeing him get to experience that too?
Oh, absolutely. So we took him first time when he was 2, and just getting to go with someone that's never been there before, but like doesn't know the difference between reality and not, and just seeing his eyes, and it was just getting to live it again through, like, it's almost was like my first time going to the parks again.
Oh yeah,
like seeing him just like look around. Totally. Like our first day, we started it with Animal Kingdom, not to like really overwhelm him, and then but man, walking down Main Street and he saw the castle, you could just see his eyes like. And then of course we did a character breakfast before we went into the park, so like he's sitting there eating, and then like Mickey and Minnie are all walking up, and he's just like, whoa, what are all these people doing here? So dude, it was really cool. And you could just tell that he didn't grasp the reality of that, like, that's just a person
real.
in a suit. Yeah, like Mickey's really here, and it's so cool.
Yeah. Oh man,
because
so
I
fun.
still feel like it's not a person in a suit. I'm like, Mickey's really here.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly. I know,
That is
especially when
him.
you go with, I mean, because we've always done character meet and greets, but it's just so much more special when you go with
Your kid,
your
like,
kid.
runs
Yeah,
up just like, what
Yeah.
is going on? Like, I've only seen you on TV.
yeah. Like I'll hug Mickey still, but it's still like there's a little part in my mind where it's like, oh yeah, I'm just hugging like a normal person. But seeing it through the lens of a kid is just, it's awesome.
It
So
is.
cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
So kind of circling back to tattoos, we're going to go back to that for a little bit. Is there
course.
any particular character that you feel like gets requested the most? Or do you have a favorite character that you like to tattoo?
So they will both be the same answer, and it is Mickey. I'll
Nice.
never
I
get
kind
tired
of
of
was
tattooing
thinking
Mickey.
that.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's
He's a popular
there's
one.
endless. Yeah, and it's just endless what you can do with him. Like,
Yeah.
Mickey's done it all, so he can be anything.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love
So
it.
fun.
And so when you when you're talking about finding kind of your niche and like doing that American traditional tattooing, did it take a while to get to do a lot more pop culture and Disney tattoos, or like how did that transition? Like, do you mainly do Disney now and pop culture?
Yeah, now it's definitely a lot of pop culture and Disney stuff for sure. But it definitely took some push. If you build it, they will come. So I definitely there was a lot of I'm just gonna draw stuff and post it, and hopefully people will catch on. And it really did. It was a lot at first. It was a lot more of like horror movie stuff that kind of started catching people's eyes, but then I was still drawing Disney stuff too, and then it was like, okay, cool. And then it kind of started snowballing to like more horror and more Disney, and then like so those, like, my two worlds kind of collided there with the horror and Disney. And so people were just like, oh, you're like the Disney guy. I'm like, sure, I will be that.
That's awesome.
It's me.
Have you done any horror and Disney combined?
I have. I did 2 flash sheets a long time ago, and I've tattooed a lot of them that were Disney characters dressed up as horror movie characters. I've done quite a few of them.
Dude,
that would be very entertaining to see. So, obviously, there's a lot of Disney fans like worldwide. Would you say that your clients are generally like in your area, or do you get a lot of people coming from out of town at this point?
I do have a lot of people coming from Maryland, but I get a lot of, surprisingly, there's a lot of Disney people in New Jersey. So I get a lot of people driving down from New Jersey. And it happens at least once a month. I'll get an email from someone, and they'll like go through the rigmarole of setting up an appointment with me. And then they'll be like, I just saw that you're not in Florida. Like, I cannot make it up to Maryland. I'm like, that's cool, man.
That's probably something people should check a little earlier on.
Yeah, I'll have to send their deposit back, and like, it's cool, man. But I get a lot of people come up from Florida. So I've had people fly in from Middle America. I've had people come from California. So
that's so cool.
That's awesome.
So actually on that, because I'm wearing the shirt that you designed with the Lost Bros, I was just thinking they're from Florida. So did you initially meet Cody T first and then kind of just get involved with Lost Bros after that? Because I know you did some stuff with them.
Yeah. So it's funny. I was laying in bed scrolling through Instagram and stuff, and you know how you kind of like start to doze off. You're like, and then you do that thing where you're like, you're gonna drop something out of your hand, so it like wakes you up, and you like catch it so you don't drop your expensive phone. Well, in doing that, I guess I was on his thing, and I like slid up and like sent a reaction to one of his stories. Luckily, it kind of looked like it made sense and was on purpose. And then I guess through that, he went through my page and was like looking at all my stuff, and then messaged me. He's like, hey, we should work together. I have some tattoo ideas. And like, sure. And then from there we did the first I did a Friday the 13th shirt for them. It was the Jungle Cruise one.
Oh.
And then that did really well for him. And then he's like, let's do a whole collection of this stuff.
Dude,
and
that's awesome.
So, and that was going to be like, we were going to do like a pop-up with like actual tattooing and this and that. And then COVID happened.
Oh, I was going to ask you, because I remember they were talking about that pop-up. So that was right around that time.
Yeah. So they did the one before we met, and then he's like, I want to like kind of redo that. And then I was like, yeah, for sure. And then COVID happened, so we just rolled them out anyways, and they did really well. I did the flash sheet for them like I would have anyways, and then that did well. And then we let it go a couple months, and he's like, let's do, tattoo. I was like, all right, cool. So I designed all them and then went down and helped them. They did that shoot with like where it looked like Cody was actually like tattooing the t-shirts and stuff. And, I helped them set all that up. And, I've been down there a couple times, like before, like when Disney like first opened back up, I went down and hung out with them, and we like talked over ideas and stuff. I tattooed him. I actually got to bucket list something. I tattooed at Disney, so that was cool. Like I tattooed in a room at Pop Century.
Dude, yes. Which tat was that? Was that?
I feel like I remember seeing it, but I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, I tattooed Cody's hand. I tattooed the coffin on his hand. And
that's like one of his favorites. I feel like I've heard him say that's one of his favorites. So
that was a lot of fun. That was a fun experience.
How do you do with the pain? I heard hand is pretty rough. My barber just got a hand one, and he was like, dude, it's so painful.
Cody has one of the highest pain tolerances I've ever seen. Like that man,
lucky man.
He got tattooed for like 5 hours, and then we took a break and then came back, and he got another one later that night. Like the last time I was down there, I did so much tattooing on him.
My God,
like, whatever.
He's nuts,
dude. That's
so. I'm like,
he's like now numb to
like,
tattoo pain.
Yeah. Dude,
I just like
that was me with 20 minutes. I was like, that's great.
The older I get, the more I'm just like, please stop. I'm like, I always say to my friends, there's like 2 friends that tattoo really fast, and they do like really nice stuff, and I'm just like, can you do this within an hour? And they're like, yes. I'm like, let's do that.
Dude,
please, come on.
That's awesome.
How many Disney tattoos do you have?
I have a big portrait of Walt with Steamboat Willie on my thigh. I have Figment on the back of my leg. I have Huey, Dewey, and Louie from the Trick or Treat cartoon by my friend Matt Seiler. He's a great tattoo artist. I have Kylo Ren and the Kylo Ren and the Figment and the Walt were done by my bud Jeffy. And then I have this tattoo for my son, and he's wearing little Mickey ears because his middle name is Walt.
I love that.
His middle name's Walt. That's awesome.
That's so
man,
cute.
I love that.
And I have Venom. I guess he's not technically
the inspiration
Disney.
for your tattooing, right?
Dude, yeah. Is it the same cover that kind of drew you into comic books?
It was a big inspiration. I think I wanted more of the symbiote and less of Eddie Brock.
Yeah.
Which is what the Kevin you see. It's like kind of like half and half, but I wanted like Venom's eyes and stuff in there.
Oh, that's awesome.
So cool.
Speaking of tattooing at Disney, I told my family, I was like, oh yeah, we're talking to this Disney quote unquote, you do other stuff, but tattoo artists, and my mom literally was like, they should just open a tattoo shop in Disneyland. And I was like
in downtown Disney.
I think she originally meant like Main Street, but I was like, actually that'd be so crazy. Like Disney Springs or downtown Disney. I feel like Disney would never do that, but you know how much business
they would stay very busy.
Like book months in advance and just do something.
I'm honestly shocked though that they don't have one, because City Walk has Hart and Huntington, and one of my best friends, Chris, works there. And he's destroying it. Like he's killing it every day, doing Disney tattoos. Like all these Disney people are going down the City Walk to get tattooed.
Man.
When Disney
could just be right there.
Disney Springs.
They're missing out on an opportunity.
But there's also really great shops like pretty close to Springs. And the artists are killing it. My friend Melissa just got the hippo with the wonky eyes from
Small World,
from
right?
Small World. Yeah, on her knee, and it is awesome.
Yes.
I forget the artist names, but it's so good. And then she did
That's awesome.
I think a Muppet on her other knee by the same artist.
Nice.
I really don't understand why they don't have a tattoo shop at Disney Springs.
It's gotta be like
it's
in
such
the
a missed
future.
opportunity.
Oh yeah.
I
feel like
they're so busy.
Another strike against Chapek.
I know, right?
Yeah,
Open the tattoo shop, Chapek. Man, come on, man. Speaking of the hippo with the wonky eye, we're talking, what's the weirdest Disney tattoo request that you've ever gotten? And I've seen some, I was going through your feed and I was like, people are so creative, because I think I saw the Grogu in the Sorcerer Mickey costume and I was like, that is amazing. Like, how did someone come up with that? But what's the weirdest one you've ever gotten?
That one was a lot of fun. I did Sorcerer Mickey as Sorcerer Supreme Mickey, like from Doctor Strange. That was a lot of fun. What is the strangest one? I guess now it's technically Disney, but this is probably the strangest tattoo I've ever done, and it kind of falls into the Disney category. But in my apprenticeship, I had someone ask me to do a fat Captain America sitting on a toilet eating a plate of hot dogs.
Oh my!
Like using his shield as a plate.
What?
Okay, that's pretty
Who
weird.
came up with that?
Was that hard to like kind of conceptualize and like try to draw it out?
Yeah, let me just
it was.
Draw that up real quick.
It took me a little bit. And I asked him, I was like, "What is this for?" He's like, "I don't know." I was like, "All right."
I don't know. Okay, now
there was no story. There was nothing that like drew him to that. It was just like, that sounds fun.
Where was this tattoo placed? I just need to know. Was it somewhere normal?
Like
his thigh?
A prime like. Oof. While he's going to the bathroom, he's got to look at that.
Oh, well, actually, yeah. Then they're both hanging out doing the same thing.
He can feel like he's Captain America when he's taking care of it.
That's
about.
I love it.
It's pretty funny. Okay, so another question we had was for anyone getting into tattooing, do you have tips on how to kind of like develop your style and how to get your art out there for the people to see?
Yeah, just the same advice that guy gave me. Just draw what you love, like, and make sure it's good on paper. Because if it's not good on paper, it's not going to be good on skin. So make sure you really like get designing down before you try and tattoo. Because there's a lot of people like, oh, I'll learn tattooing and then I'll learn how to draw, and then it just makes it way harder, you know?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I essentially went back to the drawing board, figuratively and literally, when that guy was like, draw what like, and I hadn't drawn like comic book stuff in a long time, and then I basically had to learn to draw traditional, because in my apprenticeship I was doing a lot of what they called new school, like that really cartoony, like disproportionate big head, small body, weird eyes. Nice. And I just like wasn't into that. So
yeah,
but that's what I was doing. And then, you know, doing lots of just random 90s looking flash, because people would just come in and pick it off the wall. But that kind of helped me figure out how to lay out a traditional design, you know, like the flowers and, you know, stuff to kind of like pull your eye, but like really just make sure you're having fun. Like,
yeah,
there's a lot of people just getting into it. It's like, oh, I can make a lot of money tattooing, and then there's just no heart in it.
Yeah.
It's really easy to pick out a tattoo that was done by someone that just, oh, that'll be a lot of good money. And then someone that's just like, I love what I'm doing.
Yeah. So. And you could totally tell that, like, going through your feed, man. There's some great stuff there. It's like, I don't know, it just pops, you know? Yeah, you could definitely tell. That's so awesome. So yeah, we just wanted to do a quick little Shannon's favorites section. We have a couple things here, and we just kind of want people to get to know you, your Disney side. So we're going to start with favorite Disney ride.
It is a That's such a tough question.
It's so
I know.
So
many parks.
I love the Haunted Mansion. Like that's one I have to like ride every time I go through it. But like as far as like ride, like I really love Everest. I just love how it feels disconnected and like there's a couple different rides within it. Like I love that you do that climb and then it stops and you're like, where's the rest of the track? Where is this going? And then you go backwards and then you go forward again. Epic. Like it's just so fun. I just wish they would fix the Yeti so that he works properly.
I know.
Yeah.
Come on, I feel like that is such a long closure. I'm like, I mean, but it's worth it, you know. But I feel like they would have to just like redo. I don't know so much. I heard that he's like a part of the structure or something like that. Yeah, he's so heavy,
and the way he moves, it was breaking the structure of the integrity of the building. So
probably better to
have him. He's just so heavy.
They need to build another one and put it right next to him. So there's like one that's just kind of paralyzed because they haven't seen humans before. And then the other one's kind of going after you. So do 2 Yetis, one still, one moving, and then you're good.
Yeah, they should at this point.
I also feel like they could just take the one. I feel like they could take the one that's hanging down and just move him.
Yeah,
and you put him somewhere else. But
somewhere we're going fast.
That's true.
I've watched videos of it when it worked, and he gets pretty close to, like, it feels like he's going to smack you in the face when it actually moves.
Never seen it.
Yeah,
I mean, we've been on Everest, but we've
only been once, and it was in 2018, and he was definitely broken at the time, so we've not gotten to experience.
I love their fix for it. We're just gonna throw strobe lights behind him, and then Disco Yeti
It'll
is
look
born.
scary, okay?
Yes,
no one will notice that he's not moving. The strobes will make it look like he's moving.
Like a false effect.
It's so great, so good.
So
but also going back to that, I like new ride. Like I love Rise of the Resistance, and I think every ride should be that from now on forever. Dude, it is a ride. Like the queue feels like something in itself, an attraction by itself. Then you get that pre-ride, and then you come out, and then you're part of a show, basically, as they walk you through, and then you get the actual ride, which has that surprise in it, and then every time I ride it, I notice different parts. Like I rode it the other when I was there in February, and I didn't even realize there's a part with like an animatronic fin. Like I didn't realize it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Dude, I had no idea. Like the first time I rode it, and then I was in a different part, and I'm like, "Oh crap, he's down. He's stuck down over there."
Yeah,
like, I had no idea. So I feel like every time I notice, I think my only complaint with it is when Kylo shuts those doors. He essentially shuts himself to be flung out into space. It's like, what are you doing?
That was a smart move, Kylo. But yeah, I agree. Yeah, that ride just is on a whole different level.
Yeah, there's no ride like it.
Oh, it's genius. I love it. It is.
Yeah.
And then it really, like that scene where you come in and he's like talking to Hux and you're just like, he doesn't know you're there. It really feels like those are actors there and not animatronics.
Yeah. And then you back away. I love the whole like trackless thing too, because it could literally like go forward a little bit and then back up it like really fast. It's just it's amazing. So crazy.
Yeah,
I love it.
They did really well on that ride for sure.
Yeah.
All right, next question. Favorite snack?
It's a tie between pretzels and popcorn.
Ooh,
I gotta have both. Like a Mickey pretzel and popcorn, both I have to have. Like no matter what.
Yeah, awesome. I feel that. The pretzel's always been my thing too.
Yeah, pretzel, but we don't get popcorn. I don't even think I've had popcorn in the park. I know, it's crazy. I'm always like pretzel, churro, Dole Whip and all that stuff. I don't think we ever like get popcorn, which is crazy.
I guess I just never saw the draw to, because I'm like, I could have popcorn at home. I should like get something that like
I'm a sucker for a popcorn bucket though.
It's about the buckets. That's
and
true.
Also, but if I could have churros, I probably would be a churro person as well. But until they decide to make them vegan, I can't have the churros, so I'll stick with popcorn.
Ooh. What would be interesting is doing like try to figure out a vegan churro recipe.
I'm sure
cool.
it could be done.
I'm sure some people have done that already, but yeah. No, that'd be
might not be quite
awesome.
the same, but I'm sure it could still be
pretty
good.
So we have 2 more here, but before we do the last 2, I just need to ask, because I meant to ask this earlier, because I also played in a band, but what instrument do you play, and what was the band style? I played in like a screamo, like alternative band, drums, like way back in the day.
Nice.
So
I played bass and sang in a pop punk band.
Oh, dude,
nice.
That's so awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah,
we still love the pop punk.
Yeah, it's great. And then my friend that I work with, Jeffy, is in a hardcore band, and me and him have been throwing around the idea of recording an EP, not to tour or play shows or anything, but just to like put out there to be fun, of that early 2000s like hardcore, like youth crew, straight edge hardcore, but each song is going to be the origin story of a Marvel character.
Oh,
so,
man. Dude, okay.
That's
awesome.
a pretty unique idea.
We'll call it Excelsior, and it'll be the Stan Lee EP.
Oh my gosh.
I love that.
You have to keep us updated when you guys record.
Yeah, keeping our eyes open for that.
Dude, that's so dope. That's sick. Okay, so next up, favorite Disney movie. I know these are tough, but just throw them out.
That one's a no-brainer. That one's easy. Tangled.
Wow,
nice. I wouldn't have pegged you for that.
So if they do a Tangled ride in the park.
I have a Tangled tattoo. I have the frying pan with the flower.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. So where do you think they should do a Tangled ride? Because we all know we need it.
Yeah.
We do. And I think it should be very close to the best bathrooms in the park. The Tangled bathrooms.
I agree.
That whole
Those
section,
are so
it should be like right behind there.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Chapek, let's call them up.
I also think that
I agree.
In the bathrooms, I really think that they should make those missed opportunity. They should shine the frying pan so you can actually use them as a mirror.
Nice. That'd be awesome.
This is a great idea.
I love it.
Great idea.
So good.
Alrighty. Okay. Last question we have. What is your favorite Disney memory?
Oh man.
From all of your life.
So I think it was our last or second to last day. Well, I got 2. Okay, let me take that back.
We'll give you 2.
Okay, cool. So when I lived in Florida, we went down to the boardwalk to get dinner and stuff and hang out, and we're walking through the like their store, like their Disney store there, and I like picked up the bride and the groom ears, and I was like, oh, we should wear these one day. And she was like, yeah, that would be really cute. And then I was like, will you? And then I like asked her to marry me. And she was like, shut up. That's not real. Oh my gosh. And I was like, it's a real ring. And then,
did you actually have the rings there too?
Yeah.
Wow, so you were ready.
Like, will you marry me? She's like, I was so surprised. I didn't expect it. So we got engaged on the boardwalk, so that was a lot of fun.
Dude, I love that. That's cool. Did you actually pick up the hats and wear them for the rest of the day?
We did. We do have.
Nice.
We did buy those, and we did our engagement photos wearing them.
Dude, that's awesome.
So we did engagement photos at Magic Kingdom. But then,
man, that's awesome.
And then on my son's first trip, we were walking around Epcot. And we were like, we need to get pictures of him with Mickey. So we went to the character meet and greet that's at Epcot. He fell asleep waiting in line. So we just like walked through all of them, and we had Mickey wake him up. So I'm holding him.
Oh my gosh.
Like, Mickey like taps on his shoulder, and he like looks up, and then his eyes just like, oh my gosh, it's like actual Mickey. Like, and it was the cutest thing ever. Oh, and then I have like a laundry list of like great memories.
It's all right. You can just list them out. We got time.
Our first trip, we went down specifically at Halloween time because his favorite movie was the Nightmare Before Christmas. So we did the Not So Scary, and we stood 2 hours in line to meet Jack and Sally, and we went dressed as Lock, Shock, and Barrel. And we get there his time, and he like Jack walks up to like oh my, hello, and like greet us. And we thought he was going to run and jump into Jack. He pushed Jack out of the way and dove into Sally's arms and didn't let her go the whole time.
Dude, that is awesome.
Oh my
gosh.
And I think it took her by surprise because like everyone's like, oh my gosh, it's Jack, and like doesn't really pay much attention to Sally. So I think it was really exciting for like a kid to like really be stoked to see her and not Jack. So it was like he owned both, and he did not let her go the whole. And they like spent a good 15 minutes with him, which was rad because there was a huge line. Like, but I think they could pick up that like he was there for them
for that,
and it was amazing.
That's great.
That's awesome. That is so sweet. I can't believe they took that much time to just hang out. That
I was
shows
shocked
what
too.
the cast members are about.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna like shoo us off, but they like talked to him like he pointed at Zero and she's like, oh, you have a dog, and he's like, they started talking about their dogs and like it was awesome. Gosh. And then she like it was like, all right, I think the camera people were kind of like, we should like wrap this up, and she was just like, can I keep him? Like, we're just gonna keep him here with us. I was like, you want? We'll go walk around and you can.
Like, you want to babysit?
Watch them. We'll do some rides together. Yeah, seriously. Oh man,
that's so cute.
That is so awesome.
Do you guys make it to the park like once a year? Is it like a yearly trip for you?
As family, yeah, for sure. And then I'm obviously down there a little more often for tattooing and Lost Bros stuff.
Nice.
Dude, that's cool. Are you working on any more designs with them or collabs or anything?
I am. Yeah. We have one coming out soon. Maybe a 13th of 1 month.
Oh wait, I think that's soon. I think right?
you don't have to spill anything, but now we know what to look out for.
I will actually be down there very soon, hanging out with them. I think talking about stuff.
Nice.
Dude, that's great. Are you going to that like that emo night? Did that happen already or no? I know that Cody like posted about that, and I was like,
it happened. I think he's doing it Friday, and I get down there on Saturday, and then I get down on Saturday. So,
man, that's crazy. I hit him up, and he was like, dude, it's just a plane flight away. And I was like, when you have a kid, it's a little bit harder.
You can't just fly across the country for an
just set a bowl of food and water out, and you'll be fine. They'll be fine.
Take care of themselves.
They're like bumbles and they bounce. It's fine.
That's awesome. Oh man. Well, dude, thank you so much for coming on our show and talking about what you do.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
awesome.
That was a blast.
Appreciate
I really had fun.
Yeah, it was great. And you have fun in Disney World. I can't believe you're going there so soon. Oh wait, this week, right?
Yeah, the end of the week.
Oh, man.
Oh, jealous.
Yeah, dude, have so much fun.
And before we get off, do you want to tell some of our listeners how to find you, where they can look for you on social media, that kind of thing? No?
Nope. Just look.
They have to find
You'll find me. If you really want to find me, you'll figure it out.
I like that. Very ominous.
It's Instagram at Tattoos by Shannon. Please follow the shop too I work at. It's Lucky Bird Tattoo. Everyone there is great. They all have their own individual styles. Just an amazing crew there. Follow my friends, the Lost Bros. I'm sure you already do. I do a lot of work with them. So awesome. And then I do a lot of work with the company Gladracket. They are also amazing people.
Awesome.
Who else I do work with? I have a couple designs in the works with Revenge of the Nerd, which is a comic book company. They kind of like take hardcore stuff and Disney and comics and mash them together.
That's awesome.
So that's where you can find a lot of my work.
Cool, man. Well, thanks again. Have fun at Disney World.
Yeah,
absolutely. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
See you, Shannon.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much, Shannon, for being on our show. We had a blast talking to you. Fun. It was awesome. Thank you for taking the time to be on our show. You guys should go give him a follow on Instagram, Tattoos by Shannon. He's got some amazing work. So definitely go get a tattoo from him if you live in Maryland or otherwise.
Yeah, and thank you guys again for listening to our show. I know we did that giveaway this week, and I think the winner will be announced today. This is Friday that this episode should be going live. Yeah. And so really excited that we got to do that giveaway. And we're just so thankful to all of you who follow us on Instagram and on YouTube and podcasting platforms. It really means a lot. So it's just a little something that we could do to give back. We really wish we could give gifts to everyone, but obviously that's a lot of money and that's not in the cards for us.
Yeah,
but
gotta be one winner.
Yeah, I know, unfortunately. But thank you again for listening, and we will see you guys next week.
See you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.